Okay, so we are looking at this question here. Given information, consider a competitive consider a consider a competitive for which the quantities demanded and supplied of bread and meat per week are given. Hmm. Yeah, that's a funny sentence. Yes. So we've been given prices. Okay, 60 kwacha, 80 kwacha, 100 and 120 kwacha. We've been given quantities. Okay, let me just zoom in because it's a bit faint. Yeah, so this is the quantity demanded for bread here. Okay, quantity demanded for bread. Okay, 22 units, 20 units, 18 and 16. Here we've got quantity demanded for meat. Okay, here this is quantity supplied. Okay, quantity demanded for meat 22, 16, 13 and 10. Okay, so today we're looking at part C of the question, which says calculate the cross price elasticity of meat when the price of meat increases from 80 kwacha to 100 kwacha. Okay, so cross price elasticity, it's how the quantity demanded of one good, which we can say good A, how the quantity demanded of good A responds to changes in the prices of good B. Okay. So here, want to see how the quantity of bread is going to respond to the change in price of meat. Okay, want to see what is the relationship. Are these goods complementary goods, meaning they're used together? Okay, one by itself is of less use. Complementary goods are used hand in hand. It's like a married couple, basically. Both need each other. Okay, or are the goods substitutes where one can be exchanged for the other? That's what we want to find out. Okay, so remember, this is the rule about cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, if your cross price elasticity of demand is positive, it means your goods are substitute goods. Meaning, if the price of good A, let's say for example, if the price of meat increases, okay, and then the quantity demanded of bread increases, then it means these goods are substitute goods. Okay, because what it's saying is this: when the price of meat increases, people stop buying meat and they substitute it with bread. Okay, so if in our question here, if our cross price elasticity of demand is positive, we'll know that these are substitute goods. Okay. If the cross price elasticity of demand is negative, then these goods are complementary. They're used together. So meaning if the price of meat goes up, okay, people buy less meat. Now since meat and bread are used together and people are buying less meat, so they won't need to buy bread since they've got no meat. So quantity demanded for bread is going to go down. Okay, this is what we mean by when the sign is negative. Okay, and if the price of meat goes down, people buy more meat. So as they buy more meat, the meat is eaten together with the bread. So quantity demanded for bread is going to increase. Okay, so yeah, so here they say calculate the cross price elasticity of demand when the price of meat increases from 80 kwacha to 100 kwacha. Okay, so we're going to use the arc elasticity approach. Okay, we say arc elasticity approach. This is just basically what we mean, colleagues. This is the formula you're using. Cross price elasticity of demand XED equals Q2 quantity, the new quantity demanded for meat, minus Q1 quantity, old quantity demanded for meat, over the new quantity demanded for meat Q2M plus the old quantity demanded for meat Q1M over 2. Okay. And then over P2, the price. Oh, the quantities are for bread, sorry. Because it's the well, the price changes for the meat. So Q2B, Q1B, quantity demanded for bread. Bread here, bread here. Okay, then P2, when the price of P2 is the new price of meat minus P1, the old price of meat, over P2, the new price of meat, plus P2 plus P1, the old price of meat, over 2. Okay, this is the arc elasticity approach. If they ever ask you get using arc elasticity approach, you use this formula. The other formula you can use is percent change in quantity of bread over percent change in the quantity of meat. Or in the price of meat. Okay, remember percent change is always new minus old divided by old. So you say Q2, the new quantity of bread, minus Q1, the old quantity of bread, over Q1, the old quantity of bread, times 100. This is the percent change for the quantity of bread. Okay, times 100%, over percent change in price, P2, new price of meat, P2, new price of meat, minus P1, old price of meat, divided by old price of meat, times 100%. Okay. So colleagues, it's important you know both approaches so that should you be asked in the exam, okay, you will know how to answer. Okay, you're going to know how to answer. So we're going to do we get our new price of meat and old price of meat. So P, you're going to, so whenever you're doing these questions, regardless of which formula you're going to use, okay, you always have to get the new price, old price, new quantity, old quantity. Okay, so Q2, the new quantity of bread, we record it, we go to our table here. They're telling us when the price of meat increases from 80 kwacha to 100 kwacha. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. So our Q2, our new quantity of bread, Q2B is 18. Okay, Q2B is 18. Our old quantity of bread, Q1B, is 20. Okay. Price of meat. So we're going to say P1M. The old price is 80 kwacha. The new price is 100 kwacha. Okay, colleagues, this is what you have to do with these questions. Okay. So we go now. We can solve. This is almost okay. Mhm. So yes, we've jotted down the information we need. What are Q1, Q2, P1, and P2. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll solve using the arc elasticity approach, where you use a formula like this. Then you will try to solve in this the ordinary method. Okay, I don't know what they call this method yet. This other one here, where it's percent change, quantity demanded over percent change in price. Okay, so using the arc elasticity approach, we just how we do it is we're going to solve the numerator first, and then we solve the denominator second. Okay, so that everyone follows. Okay, because the formula is too big. All right, so it's better you do it in parts. Okay, so we're going to start with this part first here. Okay, we solve the top part. Okay, Q2 is 18. Okay, that's the new quantity of bread. Minus Q1, the old quantity of bread, 20. So you do 18 minus 20 divided by Q2, again 18, plus 20 divided by 2. Okay. So, should I put my workings down because there's no space. Okay, let me put it here. Okay. So 18 minus 20, that is negative 2. Negative 2. 18 plus 20. So this bottom part, don't divide these two straight. No. First, you do 18 plus 20, that is 38. 38 divided by 2, that is, should be 18. 38. 19. 19. Okay, so negative 2 over 19 here. Any questions, colleagues? Yeah. Yeah. Reciprocal of 2, meaning you multiply this on top there. I think you can get the same answer. I haven't tried it before, but maybe maybe you can attempt. Try it, try it. Mm. Okay, first, before we confuse our other colleagues first, we'll try it, sir, okay? Yes, yes, yes. I'll also attempt it. But let's just first use the way it's usually used. So I haven't finished solving the numerator, but I've simplified it to negative 2 over 19. Okay. Here on the denominator, PM2 is 100. New price of meat. Old price of meat, 80 quad over 100 plus 80 divided by 2. So 100 minus 80, that is 20 over 100 plus 80, that's 180. 180 divided by 2, that is what? 90. So 20 over 90. Okay. 20 over 90. Then we simplify further so that we get our answer. So negative 2 divided by 19, that is negative 2 divided by 19, negative 0.1, negative 0.105 over 20 divided by 90, 0.22. So negative 0.15, negative 0.105 divided by 0.22, you get negative 0.47. Negative 0.47. Okay. So here, our cross price elasticity of demand is negative. Okay, so it is telling us that these goods are complementary goods. Right? When the price of meat goes up, right, you find now quantity demanded of bread goes down. So since people are buying less meat, they're not going to need bread. So quantity demanded of bread goes down. Yes. Any questions, colleagues? Mm. Not the same answer per se. Not the same answer, but you get a negative answer. It won't be the same answer per se because of how the tabulations that are done. Okay, well, let's do this other method here. We find what's the percent change for the quantity of bread. So you're going to say 18 minus 20 divided by the new quantity is 18, the old quantity is 20. So divided by 20 times 100%. Okay. Then also percent change for meat, I'm going to say 100 minus 80 new price minus old price divided by old price times 100%. Okay. So we can cancel out these 100%. 18 minus 20, that is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 20, what do we get? Negative 2 divided by 20, that's negative 0.1. Then on our denominator, 100 minus 80, that is 20. 20 divided by 80 gets 0.25. Okay. So negative 0.1 divided by 0.25, you get negative 0.4. Almost similar. Yes. So in both situations, we've got a negative cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, and this part state the nature of the goods, meat and bread. State the nature of goods that meat and bread are. Reasonably explain. So these are complementary goods. Reason being the cross price elasticity of demand is negative. When the price of meat increased from 100 kwach, from 80 kwach to 100 kwach, it means people bought less meat. Have you seen? Even the meat dropped. Quantity demanded for meat dropped from 16 to 13. So now, since in this scenario, bread is accompanied with meat. Whenever you buy meat, you should also have bread. Probably these are for sandwiches. Okay, because in real life, colleagues, these two are, they not always use hand in hand. We don't always eat meat and bread. Okay. But for the context of this question here, the price of meat went up. So people bought less meat. Then what happened also to the quantity demanded of bread? It also dropped from 20 to 18. Meaning, as people bought less meat, they bought lesser bread. That's why the quantity demanded of bread has dropped. So these goods are complementary goods.